channel. Today, we are going to discuss one of the most difficult parts in the English grammar, the use of has and have. This is the most confusing part, especially to those who are still striving to learn the English language. Now, our topic is the use of has, have, and had. And here, first, we need to discuss the use of has and have under the present perfect tense. In the present perfect tense, in the first person singular, as well as in plural, we are going to use have. You cannot use has in this subject. The first person I and the first person plural we. We should always use have. But for you, have should be used also, and for they, have is also the right verb. But if your subject is third person singular, like he, she, and it, the verb should be has. Alright. We have here in our first example, I have given my report. Our verb here is have. Now, this sentence tells about action that happened in the past, but has a consequence in the present. Like this one. I have given my report. Have is followed by a past participle. Given. Now, if you are going to use the past tense here, it is going to have a different meaning. I have gave my report. It doesn't sound correct. So, it should be a past participle. Given. Now, you can add some more here. Say for example, you want to include a subordinate clause like this one. I have given my report when somebody arrived. Now in this sentence, it is divided now into two parts. We have the independent clause and we have the subordinate clause. Now in the first part, this is the action that happened in the past. And in the second part, this is the consequence that resulted with the action. Okay. In other words, this is the action in the past, and this is the consequence. Alright. Next, I have submitted my report. By the way, there is another function for the verb have here. The function of this verb is also transitive verb. Why? In my other video, I have discussed to you that the function of transitive verb is to transmit action to the receiver. Here, there is an action, there is an object because there is an action to the question what. I have what? The answer is given my report. So here, given my report is the object of the verb have because it answers the question what. So here, have is functioning as a transitive verb. Alright. Next, I have submitted my report. Now, this sentence tells about action that happened in the past. We can add something here. We can add a subordinate clause. So, for example, I have submitted my report. So, when She called me. Alright. Now again, we are going to divide this sentence into two parts. I have submitted my report. This is our independent clause. And the second part, this is our independent clause. And this is our subordinate clause. Now, the action in the past is here in the independent clause. And the consequence is here. This is the action. And here, this is the consequence. Again, have here is followed by a past participle submitted. Now, again, the verb have here is functioning as a transitive verb because it has an action. The action is submitted my report. How would we know that submitted my report is the object? Now, it is the object because it answers the question what? I have what? The answer is submitted my report. So this part is our object. The object of the verb have. Okay. This is the action and this is the consequence on the subordinate clause. Okay. Next. Alright. And our next example, it has eaten the food under the table when I noticed it. Now, here, the verb has is followed by a past participle eaten. And always use a past participle after the verb has. By the way, our subject here is third person singular. Ito, it. Singular ito. So, hindi pwedeng gamitin ang have. We cannot use have. Ang dapat gamitin ay has. Has should be used because our subject is singular third person. Now, if we're going to analyze the sentence, it is divided into two parts. First, we have the independent clause. It has eaten the food under the table. This is our independent clause. And here, when I notice it, this is our subordinate clause. Now, the first part, it tells something about action that happened in the past. Nagsasaad siya ng action na nangyari sa nakalipas. And then here, the second part, it shows the consequence of that action. Ito yung resulta ng action. So, this is the action in the past. Alright, this is the action. And the second part, this is the consequence of that action. Consequence. Alright. Now again, do not use past tense and the past perfect tense. Because if you are going to use past tense, it's going to be like that. It has ate the food under the table. It doesn't sound correct. So, the verb to be used should be past participle, not past tense. Okay, next sentence. He has accepted the money before he turned away. Now, again, this sentence is divided into two parts. We have the independent clause. This is our independent clause. And our subordinate clause is this. By the way, our subject is he. This is also third person singular. Hindi pwedeng gumamit ng have pag ang subject mo ay has. Ang subject mo ay he. Hindi pwedeng gumamit ng have. Dapat ay has. You should always use has if your subject is third person singular like he, she, or it. Now, the first part, independent clause, tells about the action. Ito na yung action. And again, the action happened in the past. Ang action ay nangyari sa nakaraan. And here, this is the consequence consequence of that action. Ito yung resulta ng action. So, in the present perfect tense, it is always divided into two parts. We have the action in the past followed with the consequence of that action. Alright. In our next example, for the second person, you. You have loved me. Now, if we are going to analyze the sentence here, have is used as a transitive verb. Why? Again, it is a transitive verb because there is an object. At paano naman natin malalaman na may object? How would we know if there is an object? Of course, we need to ask the question, what or who? If there is no answer to the question what, then we are going to ask the question who. Like this one. You have loved. You have what? You have what? The answer is love me. The phrase love me is the object of the verb have. So here, this is the object of the verb have, and have is functioning as a transitive verb. Now, about the action. You have loved me. It means that the action, ang action ay nangyari sa nakalipas at tuloy-tuloy na nangyayari sa kasalukuyan. You have loved me in the past. Until now, you are still loving me. So, the use of have here is correct. Next. Oh, by the way, notice here, the use of love is past tense. We have D. If you are going to use have, it should always be followed by a past participle. Past participle. So here, you have dapat past participle ito. Okay. Next, you have been with me since last year. Alright. We are going to divide the sentence into two parts again. Ang una ay itong independent clause. If we're going to analyze this carefully, this part is a simple sentence because it is a clause that can stand alone. While this part, since last year, this is a clause that cannot stand alone because we are going to remove this. Pag tinanggal natin ito, since last year lang, it doesn't make any sense. Now, in the first part, the action again happened in the past. You have been with me. And then, since last year, until now, you are still with me. So, tuloy-tuloy ang action. Okay. And, okay. This part is again, is functioning as a transitive verb because there is an object. You have been what? The answer is with me. So with me is the object of the verb phrase have been. So have been is functioning as a transitive verb. Okay, next. You have been studying English. Right. In this sentence, ang ibig sabihin nito, ang action ay nangyari ng nakalipas at tuloy-tuloy hanggang sa kasalukuyan. Until now, you are still studying English. Okay, and again, the same. This part is the object of the verb phrase have been. So have been is functioning as a transitive verb. Okay. This part, the second part, our subordinate clause, is the action that continued up to the present. Now, in our next example, we are going to discuss how the verb had can be used in a sentence. It's going to be like this. She had been singing when somebody called her. Again, we are going to divide the sentence into two parts. First, this is our independent clause. And we have here our subordinate clause. This is our independent clause. Now, the action here, she had been singing, happened in the past. But this one, also, when somebody called her, happened in the past, but this one is earlier. Earlier action, while this one is later. Later action. We have earlier action, later action, but still both these actions are in the past. Parehong action ay nangyari noong nakalipas. Ang unang action ay mas una. Itong pangalawa ay huli lang na action, pero pareho silang nangyari doon sa nakalipas. Alright. Next. They had seen the movie when it was banned. Now, again, we are going to divide this into two parts. We have here our independent clause. Ito na, independent clause. And this one is our subordinate clause. Ito na ang ating subordinate clause. Now, if we are going to analyze the sentence, the action happened in the past, but this one is earlier. Earlier action. And this one is later action. So we have two kinds of action, earlier action and later action. But both actions happened in the past in the same sentence. Parehong action ay nangyari noong nakalipas. Hindi katulad dun sa have at has, ang action ay nangyari noong nakalipas at tuloy-tuloy na nangyayari sa kasalukuyan. Dito hindi. Ang action ay nangyari noong nakalipas at huminto at tuloy-tuloy nangyari hanggang at huminto rin doon din sa nakalipas na panahon. Okay. Next sentence. You had been studying your lesson when the visitors arrived. Alright. Again, we are going to divide this into two parts. The first part is our independent clause. Ito na ang ating independent clause. And this part is our subordinate clause. Again, pag sinabing independent clause, it is a clause that cannot stand alone. And it can be considered as a sentence, complete sentence. Alright. Now, notice here, dito sa unang clause, sa independent clause, ang action ay nangyari noong nakaraan. And then, dito sa kasunod, when the visitors arrived, nakaraan din. Pero ito ay huling nangyari. Ito ang unang nangyari. So this is our earlier action. At ito naman ang later action. Alright. To summarize this, sa present perfect tense, ang gamit ng have ay yung action ay nangyari nakalipas at tuloy-tuloy na nangyayari sa kasalukuyan. Yun ang gamit ng has at have sa present perfect tense. Dito naman sa past perfect tense, ang gamit ng had ay action na nangyari nakalipas at sinundan ng pangalawang action na nangyari din noong nakaraan. Although, yung unang action ay earlier At yung pangalawang action naman ay letter action. Alright. Now, if you have learned something in this video, again, please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the notification bell in order to be updated with my next video, and also share na rin para mas marami pang matuto. Thank you very much for watching. See you again in my next video. Alright, I'd like to remind you again, please don't forget to subscribe on the other channel. Thank you very much for watching.